The room with the blue curtains. Hospitals have a strange way of pressing pause on the world. Time doesn't move the same. You sit by the bed of someone you love, watching machines beep steadily like a metronome for grief. That was me. I had been sleeping on the hard chair beside my father's bed for 5 days straight. He had a rare form of cancer, something I still can't pronounce, and the doctors said he'd need a transplant. A match. A miracle. I brought him water when he asked, helped him to the bathroom, changed the channel when he couldn't sleep. I tried to be strong. I was his kid, after all. His blood. His legacy. Or so I thought. It was late. The room was dim, just the soft blue light from the machines and the blue hospital curtain drawn half shut. He turned his head to me slowly, his skin pale and tight. "I need to tell you something," he said, his voice gravelly. "Before they run the donor tests, I need you to hear it from me." I smiled, weary. "Okay, shoot." He didn't smile back. He looked away. "You might not be mine." The air left the room and I blinked. "What?" He didn't look at me. He stared at the IV line in his arm, at the bruises blooming on his skin like fallen galaxies. "Your mother and I, we had problems. Around the time you were born, there was someone else. And we never tested. I never wanted to. You were mine, no matter what. Always mine." The walls shifted. The bed, the machines, the curtains, I could barely see them. Just the echo of his voice bouncing in my skull. "You're telling me now?" I whispered. "When you need a transplant?" He looked at me then, really looked. There was no cruelty in his eyes, just sorrow, exhaustion, regret. "I should have told you years ago, but now, if you're not a match, I didn't want you to think you failed me. It's not your fault." And yet somehow it still felt like it was. I sat there in silence, knees to my chest, trying to breathe through the storm in my lungs. I thought about all the times I called him Dad without question. All the soccer games. The nights he carried me to bed when I fell asleep on the couch. The fights. The makeup dinners. The advice he gave me when my first love broke my heart. All of it. Was it real? Was I? I didn't leave. I couldn't. Not yet. I stayed through the night, holding his hand when he got cold. I didn't say much, just watched the machines like I had the night before, like I would tomorrow. They took my blood the next day. While we waited, I looked at him, tubes and scars and fragile skin, and I realized something. Whether the results came back as a match or not, the man in that bed had raised me. And that's not nothing. But the pain, the betrayal, the questions that might never get answered, those would take time. The results came back 3 days later. I was sitting in the hallway with a paper cup of bitter coffee, staring at the same floor tile I'd been using to ground myself all week. The doctor came out holding a clipboard like it weighed 100 pounds. He didn't speak at first, just gave me that look. The one doctors are trained to have when something sacred is about to shift. "You're not a match," he said quietly. I nodded. It was a simple answer, just 5 words. But they unraveled something inside me. Something I wasn't even ready to face. "Are you sure?" I asked, not because I doubted the science, but because I wanted the universe to flinch. I wanted there to be a glitch in reality where everything I knew could stay intact. "I'm sure," he said gently. I sat with that for a while before going back into the room. My father, no, the man who raised me, was awake. He looked at me with so much hope in his eyes, I almost hated him for it. "I'm not a match," I said flatly. He closed his eyes, exhaled slowly. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't say me too. I didn't say it's okay." Because it wasn't. But I sat beside him. Because even when the ground splits open beneath you sometimes, you just sit with the person who helped build the cliff in the first place. "I don't know what to do with this," I admitted after a long silence. "I feel like a stranger in my own story." He opened his eyes again, tired and glassy. "Then let me help you write the next part. If you'll let me." It wasn't forgiveness, not yet. Maybe not ever, but it was something, a start. In the end, they found another donor. A distant cousin through a registry, someone we'd never met. The transplant went ahead. He survived, But things were different between us. Some silences still hung too long, some wounds never closed completely. But I visited him, not because I had to, because I chose to. And sometimes that choice was what made me feel like his kid more than anything else ever had. Weeks passed after the transplant. He began to recover slowly, color returning to his face, voice getting stronger, appetite picking up, and I kept visiting. We didn't talk about the test, or the donor, or the blood that didn't match. It was the silence we both agreed to share. One afternoon, I came into his room and found him holding a manila envelope. It was already open, his hands trembling slightly. "I need to show you something," he said, and I swear, my stomach dropped before I even sat down. He handed it to me. Inside was a second DNA report. "This one came from a lab I used before the transplant. Before I told you anything," he said. "I had doubts. I didn't want to believe them, but I couldn't go into surgery without knowing." I opened the report, and there it was, clear as daylight. I was his biological child. 99.98% match. No doubts, no maybes. My jaw clenched. "So the test the hospital did? It only tested compatibility for the transplant," he said quietly. "And sometimes even biological children aren't a perfect match. I panicked when they said you weren't. Assumed the worst, but this, this proves it. You're mine." He looked at me, eyes shining. "You always were." I couldn't breathe. My heart wasn't sure if it wanted to break, or scream, or laugh. "You told me I might not be yours. You let me believe I was a stranger. Do you know what that did to me?" "I was scared," he whispered, "of losing you before I even left this world." I stood there, the envelope shaking in my hand. So much pain, all from a doubt he never needed to say out loud. He had let fear write a truth that never existed. And the cruelest twist? It wasn't betrayal by biology. It was betrayal by trust. He had always been my father. But now I had to decide if I still wanted to be his child.